Well, g'day guys, welcome back to Too Many Projects, Not Enough Time. I'm Andrew, and the latest of Too Many Projects, the 101 that we've gotten this year and added to the fleet. So my bucket list after this one, I've really had a bit of a reality check as to how many projects I have. But this one I got because it's basically running, basically good. We just got to get it through inspection and a few things to make it a little more comfortable to drive. Me, been a bit of a big guy. The 101s are not known for comfort or a lot of driver's compartment space. I was a little squished on the steering wheel. They were designed for little British military guys. I was a Australian military guy at one point, but I'm no longer, never was real little. I was a big guy there too. They used to call me big fella. But I was a lot skinnier. Alright, so basically what I've done, sorry about all the traffic going by, and I am back in the city here. For all of you 101 owners out there, or potential 101 owners thinking, holy crap, I love these things, but I can't fit in the front. Well, that was like me. But after looking at a couple of friends' 101s, I decided that yes, I can do this. I can modify it to have more than enough room, depth-wise, for me to fit in here without hacking it up. So as I explained in the first video, introduction video on this, I did make one tiny little cut on the roll bar where it returns back into here, because that would be in my shoulder. Apart from that, that is the only modification. I can weld that back on and re-get it galvanized back to original. So that's a small sacrifice to be made for a ton more room to be able to drive this comfortably, which is the whole idea, to be able to drive it comfortably. Over time there will be upgrades to make it a little more better driving as well, both highway, stopping, all that sort of stuff. But really, goal is to get this through inspection, get it on the road. I'm going to set it up in the back for a little bit of camping in this, a little bit of weekend getaway camping, which will be good. Now, there's been a lot of years that I've had to drive to work my off-road truck. Haven't done a lot of off-roading lately, for a lot of years with the kids growing up and whatnot, but I want to start doing it again. And so I'm lucky enough now to be able to have a truck that I can take away for the weekend and not have to drive home on Monday in case it breaks, because hey, we're all Land Rover owners, we understand. So what we did, this video is going to be about what I did to get more seat capacity in the front here. And if you own a 101 or are going to get into a 101, basically if you drill out all the rivets, undo all the bolts in this area right here, the spare tire would normally be right above here, right there, but with the big 37s now, it's a little big actually to fit in here. So the spare tire for now is going to be in the back, in the bed. Maybe I'll make a bracket for the back of it in the future. I don't really know. Right now we just want to get it on the road. So spare tire's gone from here. We got plenty of room, and basically just moving this bulkhead back 4 3/4 inches. So originally, there's the original back. It would have been right there with this bracket right behind in there somewhere, basically. Is the whole gist of it. Now we're basically, what I have done, I've already done it. That's why I've been working pretty hard on this. Just too busy to film actually doing it, but I thought I'd do a video this morning, well, before I do a final installation on all this, to show you exactly what I did, to show you it is possible, and it's really not that hard with simple tools. So we're moving this back to here, giving me 4 3/4 inches. If you can see there, so there was a couple of little hurdles on the way, like the seat belt mounting bracket here, which does protrude. If we move this back, it now protrudes up through the floor. We'll get to that. it turns out it's no real big deal at all for the way I did it. So alright, let me show you the bits that I've made. So I've actually kept all the original bits that came out of this, so they can all be riveted and bolted back in, and I didn't modify any original stuff, so at some point if someone wants to reverse it, or if I want to reverse it for resale or something, totally can be done, which is awesome. Make you rivet counters happy. Alright, so once you remove all those bits, you get back to a clean slate here. I then needed some sort of back support, some framework back here. And first of all, I thought of just doing a little kind of similar to what the original angle back support was. And then I thought, well, this is a great, because the spare tire is not going to go here, this is a great area for storage and stowing stuff. So I basically made this bracketry here, a little overbuilt, I'm sure. It's out of 1/8, 1.5, 2 by 2 angle, 1/8 thick. And this essentially fits right in here. It bolts down to the original bolt holes here, and then over here. In fact, actually these two bolt holes were never there. I made new bolt holes, but if I revert back, they're hidden anyway, and they actually match aesthetically all these ones. But there's really only literally 2 new bolt holes and that one trim. Anyway, that's it. Get him, Timmy. So with this back support bracket made, sorry, Doug's got to do his daily chores of security in this hostile environment that we live here, and besides looking cute, that's his only job. Self-made job of security officer. So, all right, brackets in. So once I had this made up, we needed to make the aluminum support here and a little lumber on the bottom. So here we have it. Quite simply, a sheet of aluminum bent up with the right bend on the bottom here. And as on the original one, there was like a double skin on this back fold here, so I've simply replicated that. And as you can see, it is 5 3/4 inches deeper here, which brings the back further. And then the problem with the seatbelt little mount down there, coming up above the surface of the level of the floor, sure, I could have cut that off. Nope, don't want to do that. Original. So I made an allowance hole in the bottom for that to poke through, which is actually a very tight tolerance fit. So all I'm going to do is put a little bit of butyl tape or seam sealer or something around that, just to seal any tiny little gaps off of that coming through. And we needed a seatbelt bracket, so I then made a new seatbelt bracket, which kind of fits through there like that. But because it comes above the floor, we also needed it above the floor like that. So I put that in this, and then I slide it into place, and then I can easily reach and bolt that in, which bolts to the original seatbelt bolt holes. And it also then has about 1.5 inch offset, contrast here, 1.5 inch offset for the seatbelt to mount, about 1.5 inch further inboard, right next to, actually probably mounts in the same position really as the original seatbelt. Yeah, because there was a bracket for that as well. So anyway, new seatbelt buckle bracket for that, super heavy duty, probably way more. If I bend that, then I'm in big trouble anyway. And then the doghouse that goes on here, by moving the seat back, you end up with an open area into the engine bay because we've moved the bulkhead back. So simply made up this little panel here Made a buck up to fit in the hole. Made the buck a little bit smaller to account for the thickness of the aluminum, and then basically pounded the aluminum over the buck to make that little panel, which is like an infill to fill in the hole from the dog box as well. And then this little bit here also covers a hole that ends up appearing right behind there. So with all that assembled, I did leave the rivets out of the front of this because I need this little gap to fit in so I can wiggle it in. And then this will simply rivet into the back here all the way down. I also made up a new panel for the inside here. Forgive me, the original's around somewhere. So anyway, I had to replace the original panel that goes in here. I needed to be a little bit bigger, so basically using all the original rivet holes, so no new holes, all original rivet holes. Just made up that new panel. It fits in there. Now for the fitting of the back, which I'm going to do now, I'm just going to leave this out because it just flops around unless it's riveted in. So new panel there, so the original one doesn't get cut up. Alright, and fitting this in, slightly fiddly, but almost done to the last time it has to be fitted. There we go. There, it fits like that. Let's see, just a little gap to deal with around here, no big deal. Rivet across the front. Let me take a picture of this. Oh yes. Alright, here's a picture of the seat belt, which will fill most of that gap of that bracket. Bracket's not in properly. There's a picture right there of how that works, and then you get tons of room to access under here to bolt that in, the seat belt bracket. And the dog box fits on top and seals beautifully up against this panel. And then yeah, so rivets across the bottom here, it'll rivet down the sides, this panel in here, and then, oh, the top cap you ask. Well, I made one of them as well. Here it is, nicely galvanized, as per factory dimensions and everything, except for this side is a little bit longer. Let me find the original, compare it. Ta-ta! Alright, so here's the original. It would normally go on right about there. This is for the back, so that is the size difference right there. New ones, fabric cobbled to all the original specs. Same bit of tube, same holes, all in the same place for the roll bar. And with this bracket behind here, really secure mounting spot for the retractable seat belts, which will mount just here on the back and then connect up to the roll bar, and then come back down to the original mounts down here inside the seating area. So everything's kind of loosey-goosey, so let's see what we can do. There we go. And then a little custom fabric cobbling, and we've got the capping all back in place here. Once again, original one still there if we ever want to reverse it. Awesome. Oh, Then we have a bracket here which bolts down to through the big heavy bracket, the capping there, and then the seatbelt nest there. I'll do another video when I actually put the seatbelts in both sides as to what I did for retractable seatbelts in the GS model. As I say, that will finish off inside of there. There we have it. That is how you add an extra basically 5 inches to the interior here. Now as for seating, I'm going to use the original mounting holes, so I'm not drilling new holes to mount a seat in here. I'm going to make a flat base bracket to use the original mounting holes, so we're not drilling any new ones. And then I am putting non-Land Rover seats in here. I'm going to put some comfy seats in here, but once again reversible, so it's all good. I managed to source some great little units, some nice seats out of a 93 MR2, which has a nice flat base on it, which I'm going to weld that to the base brackets here. And that actually, they're really low seats and really skinny. I actually go from, even though I've added almost, let's say 5 inches, rounded up, 5 inches to the seating area, it actually, with these seat backs on the MR2, I actually get 6 extra inches, 21 from the steering wheel to the front of the seat back, with those seats in here, and they are kind of just as low as the Land Rover bases when they're in, but a lot more comfortable. I'm going to put a picture here of test fitting them in by just placing them in here in place, and what they look like and how they look. Yeah, they're not original, but they're comfortable, and I want to be able to drive it, and it is all reversible. That's the whole idea of all this. I do like authenticity, although Ivy is not authentic completely, but she is jam-stocked full of Land Rover parts from all different models and stuff, basically except for the gearbox. Okay, that's pretty much the seat box modification. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I'm more than happy to share and help with more photographs or anything if you're interested in doing this yourself. I guess that's it. So we'll make a new little floor up in where this bracket is in the back here, a new floor, a new base, aluminum base. We'll go in there to seal that off down to where the air filter is. And then I'll probably put an end cap on here so that I can fill this area in the back here. I still have access through this side panel. I can still swing that open and access in here if I completely block the back of this bracket off. And the top and everything I can still access through here, which I may do, and I may put like the jack. I may put like a tall hydraulic jack or something in here. It's a great cubby hole. All right, I think I got all that covered. Anyway, thanks for coming along. Remember to like and subscribe. Follow along for more of these 101 adventures. I'm trying to decide whether I put my camping adventures on Camp Tinny, my other YouTube channel, or maybe snippets on here. Keep this more mechanical stuff, and anyway, come back for the next video soon again, and then we're kind of back at it for a little while here, although another month and it is the end of summer and end of hunting season. Thanks for coming on. Remember to like and subscribe.